Welcome to the 6 Miles to Supper podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Cox, and I've lost over 80 pounds with intermittent fasting 6 days a week, eating whatever I wanted at my meals, taking a cheat day every Sunday, and walking 6 miles a day. And I'm here to help you on your weight loss journey. In today's episode, we're going to talk about leaning into discomfort and why that's really important on the weight loss journey. Now, I bet some of you out there are thinking, well, that's not important. I'm just, wanting to focus on intermittent fasting, and I just want to focus on my exercise, and that's just it. I don't want to be uncomfortable. And here's what I found about weight loss. It's all about discomfort. It's about learning how to lean into the discomfort you're feeling instead of moving away from it, because you're going to face a lot of things that are really uncomfortable. I mean, your body is physically changing when you're losing weight, and you're also changing up at least how you eat. Even if you're like me and you eat all the food that you love and you don't deny yourself anything, still you're going to be doing something different, which is uncomfortable. And so if you can learn how to lean into discomfort, you're going to have a better time with your weight loss, because you're not going to be shying away and kind of like self-sabotaging along the way. And the best part is you can learn to lean into discomfort in other areas of your life, which can then strengthen you on the weight loss journey. And it can also work in reverse, where you're leaning into discomfort on the weight loss journey, and then that translates into being able to do that in other areas of your life so that you can make changes that you need to make. The thing is, change is uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable. Nobody really likes it. I mean, if you wonder if most people like change, I mean, look around you. Most people are, overweight, even though we all know basically in order to lose weight, you need to eat less, move more, right? It's simple stuff. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, even though the key to personal finance is spend less than you make, right? These are simple things, but it's so hard because it's all about behavior, and it's all about the things that we're used to doing. And so changing your behavior is hard. It's uncomfortable. And so in this episode, I'm going to talk about the different ways, especially on the weight loss journey, that you can focus on and lean into discomfort in. But also we'll talk a little bit about different things you can do in just your everyday life to help you out. Of course, with intermittent fasting specifically, that is going to be a process of leaning into discomfort every day that you do it, and you stick with it. And that's the key, really, is you have to stick with it. And the reason why a lot of times people don't stick with intermittent fasting is because it's uncomfortable. A lot of times you're going to feel some hunger before your window opens up. And if you can learn how to lean into discomfort and just sit there with the hunger and be okay with it, then you're going to have a lot better success. Now, of course, you want to eat enough food. I mean, I don't want anyone getting the idea that I'm advocating for you just like starve yourself, because that is not what intermittent fasting is. But if you get into the habit of, instead of just saying, well, this is going to be uncomfortable to sit here for 30 minutes and be hungry, instead of that, say, okay, this is an opportunity to get a little stronger, to lean into discomfort, and then make yourself wait the 30 minutes until your window opens up. It's uncomfortable, but it makes you a better faster, and it also helps you to build that self-discipline you need, which will give you the weight loss benefits you're looking for. And intermittent fasting is just different, and doing a different kind of eating pattern than those people around you is a daily practice of leaning into discomfort and learning how to, talk about these things. I mean, that was something I certainly felt very uncomfortable with in the beginning. If somebody pointed out like, hey, you're not eating, I felt really uncomfortable about that. But now, it's no big deal, because I can just say, oh yeah, I do intermittent fasting, so I don't eat until, a certain time or whatever. The idea that I would be uncomfortable with that is kind of baffling, but that's the truth of the matter. And of course, weighing every day is a process of leaning into discomfort. Back in the beginning, especially like 2015, when the first day I got on the scale after years of not weighing, I mean, that was a huge, huge deal. But nowadays, it's just not a big deal. And that's something to focus on. If the idea of like leaning into discomfort makes you feel like, well, uncomfortable, you can remind yourself that your comfort zone just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's not like you're always going to hate weighing. Like if you hate weighing the first day, or you're really scared of it, that doesn't mean that every day you're going to be that scared. It just means that the discomfort will lessen a little bit each day. And even something as simple as having a step goal, just a daily step goal, helped me to lean into discomfort. Now, of course, sometimes physically it was discomfort, right? I mean, I was obese, and getting 6 miles of walking in was uncomfortable. It really was. But there was also a lot of these, looking back, of course, now it seems kind of silly, but I remember there would be days where, for whatever reason, maybe I was sitting in a parking lot waiting on my husband for one reason or the other. And I knew I needed to get my steps in. This was going to be like an opportunity for me to get some steps in. And I would need to get out of my car and walk around the parking lot. And that was so uncomfortable. I felt afraid. I thought, oh no, a cop is going to see me walking around the parking lot. And it's like, I don't know. I'm really not sure what I was afraid of. Like, is he going to come arrest me for walking in the parking lot? But at the same time, I knew that I had to do this. I knew I had to lean into discomfort. And so I would go out there and do my steps. And you know what? No cop ever came and asked me even what I was doing, much less did I ever get into any trouble for this. But then, as I started to go along, I started to see how often I was putting all these limits on myself and making my world smaller. Like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that, for no real good reason, only that it would make me feel uncomfortable. And so learning how to lean into discomfort in those ways really changed me as a person. It helped me to stand up for myself more and to not be so afraid all the time of everything. A lot of times I would just, go along with the flow, just try to be agreeable. And what would happen a lot of times is I would be agreeing with something that deep down inside I didn't agree with. And then what happened was then I would become resentful because I didn't really want to do the thing, but I just went along with the thing because that's what everybody else was doing, or that's what was kind of expected of me. But when I started to lean into discomfort, I started to see, like, no, you can stand up for yourself and you can disagree. And by learning how to do that over and over and over again, it's made my life so much better, because now, instead of bottling things up, and a lot of times these were what seemed like little bitty things, things that I thought at the time weren't worth mentioning. But then what would happen is, because I wasn't talking out the thing, doing the uncomfortable thing, which was talking it out, I was just stuffing feelings down inside. A lot of times I was stuffing my face at the same time. But, it's true though. There's so many times where, emotional eating is directly tied to you've got something you want to say, but you're not saying it. So instead of saying the thing, you're putting food in your mouth. But if you practice every day, leaning into discomfort, just a little thing here, a little thing there, your confidence will start to grow, and you will then be able to change other parts of your life. Like you will be able to, at your job, maybe instead of being quiet all the time, you'll raise your hand in a meeting, and who knows what that could lead to. Or maybe you're a creative. Maybe you have a book you want to write, or a picture that you want to paint. And because it feels so uncomfortable, you are holding yourself back. But if you get into this habit of just leaning into discomfort, you'll find yourself writing that book or painting that picture. And your whole life can just become so much better. So if you're wanting to get into the habit of leaning into discomfort, here's what I would suggest. Look for opportunities every single day to do so. Now, in my journal every night, I write down the question, how did I lean into discomfort today? And because I know that question is coming every night, I look for opportunities during the day. And I tell you what, there's an absolute gold mine. If you're looking for it, you will find plenty of opportunities. I mean, it might be something really simple. It might just be, getting your step goal in at first. Or there might be some sort of conversation that you've been procrastinating on because you know you need to have it, but you just don't want to have it. Use that opportunity to say, well, this is my one thing to be uncomfortable with today, and have the conversation. Or maybe it's just something at work. Maybe there's an idea that you have and you could put it out there to your boss. When I look back on the weight loss journey, One of the very best things that has come out of this is my ability now to lean into discomfort, because I'm telling you, it made my marriage better. It made my parenting better. It's made my whole life so much better. So I hope that this episode encourages you to get into that habit of leaning into discomfort. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update on the project for the 2 pediatric CPAP machines for ELWA Hospital in Liberia. The project is now 93% funded, which means we have $395 left to go. If you donate to this project, you will be helping to save the lives of dozens of babies every month. And so if you'd like to help this project get funded, you can use the link in the show notes to donate via DonorSee. And thank you so much for all of you who have already donated. Together we can do this. It is frustrating when you are overweight and you want to get the weight off, but you're just having a hard time getting started. The whole process can seem really overwhelming. If you'd like private one-on-one help, visit 6milestosupper.com/coaching. All coaching sessions take place via Zoom, so we can speak face-to-face no matter where in the world you are.